going on, everyone? Welcome back to our top 100 greatest Pokemon of all time. Today we are looking through 40 to 31, so we are getting closer and closer to that top 10. But like I say in every episode, if you see your favorite Pokemon on today's list, let me know in the comment section below. And if you are attempting this humongous challenge with me, let me know your 40 through 31 in the comment section below. And props to you for even trying this, honestly. But without further ado, we're gonna get on with the list. So starting off today's list, we have a Pokemon that will most likely be a lot of people's number one, a lot of people's favorite. We have Charizard, and there's so many ways in which this Pokemon is great. The reason it's so high up on the list is because just personally, I prefer the other Kanto starters to Charizard, but there's no denying its greatness. There is no denying its greatness. It has 2 Mega Evolutions. You know, you're special enough if you get 1, but if you get 2, there's only 2 Pokemon that have 2 Mega Evolutions. From what I can remember anyway, I might be wrong, people are gonna yell at me, but Charizard is definitely setting a standard for greatness in the Pokemon series. In the anime, it is very unique, I have to say. It's a very unique character in the anime. It's a Pokemon that really doesn't care what Ash is saying. It doesn't care what Ash is doing, but it comes in clutch in those times. It knows that when Ash really needs it, it's gonna swoop in and save the day. So Charizard, you really are one of the greatest Pokemon of all time. Next up is the pseudo-legendary Salomon. And once again, it's just one of those Pokemon that I could not include on the list. Salomon is incredibly hard to get in Ruby and Sapphire. There was this one specific area in this one specific cave that you had to go to and just run back and forth until you encountered yourself a Bagon. So if you go to the Elite Four, you find yourself against Drake, you see his Salomon, you see how strong it is, you're like, I want that for myself. Chances are, if you don't have a guide, you're not gonna find it, first of all. So Salomon's a very elusive Pokemon. And of course, we all know its strength, we all know how good it is. We know how versatile it is. You can run it special, you can run it physical, you can run it choice, you can run it Dragon Dance, you can do so many things with Salomon. It has a very, very cool design. I think that Salomon is one of those Pokemon that really personifies its type. Like, you think of a dragon, and Salomon is the kind of image that pops into your head. I don't know if that's just me, but that's what I think. Pikachu is the most iconic character in the Pokemon series. There's no denying that, there's no arguing with it. It's fact. It's the mascot of the Pokemon series, and it's a Pokemon that once you see in the anime, once you see how special that particular Pikachu is, in the way that it interacts with characters, in the way that it interacts with Ash, in the way that it battles, it's such a very unique Pokemon. It has so much personality behind it for something that doesn't really speak. And I remember back in the day of Red and Blue, walking back and forth in Viridian Forest, encountering Caterpie after Weedle, after Kakuna, after Metapod, just trying my absolute hardest to find myself a Pikachu because I just wanted to be like Ash. When I was a kid, I just wanted to be like Ash. I wanted to have my own Pikachu. I wanted to take the starters with me on an adventure. And really, Pikachu absolutely, without a doubt, is one of the greatest Pokemon of all time. Next up, we have more of a personal favorite of mine. From Generation 6, we have Noivern, and ever since I saw this thing's design, I was like, that is a really, really cool looking Pokemon. That's a very nice design. Noivern isn't the most powerful dragon type in the world by any means. It's not the easiest to get and use in-game by any means at all. You have to get Noibat and train up to some ridiculous level to even evolve it. But it's a very cool Pokemon to use in free-for-alls and competitive. I love how fast it is, and I love how hard it can hit. The fact that it learns Boom Burst, and its design shows it as kind of like a stereo with its ears and stuff. Very, very cool design. I love using it in free-for-alls mostly because it allows you to hit everyone with your Boom Burst, and it's still powerful no matter what. So Noivern is number 37. Heading back to the starters, we have Totodile coming in at number 36. And if you want to talk about personality in the anime, you need not look any further than Totodile. This thing has enough personality to share around. Coupled with the fact that it has a very cool design and evolves into an absolute monster of a beast, I love using Totodile while I'm heading through the Johto region. It's not actually my favorite Johto starter, but I can appreciate it quite a bit. It is kind of sad that it has such low special attack when a lot of the, or in fact, all of the water type moves in Generation 2 was special, so it really wasn't able to use its full power all that much, I'll say. But still, Totodile is a very cool Pokemon. It's very lovable if you've watched the anime, and that's why it's on the list. Next up, we have the Dragon Ground type. The Ground Dragon type? Does the ordering of the typings really matter? I guess so. We have Flygon coming up next, and Flygon is one of the dragons with that incredibly cute design. It doesn't really seem like a dragon by any means when you look at it for the first time, but you get it, and now that it has Dragon Dance in Generation 7, it's a powerhouse. It's an absolute powerhouse, but Flygon has been consistently outclassed by Garchomp, and it's made me sad for the longest time, but at least Flygon has this over Garchomp now. You know, it can taunt it with its Dragon Dance. Flygon can Dragon Dance all day long, and Garchomp can just look on and envy. Green with envy. Even though Flygon's the green one. But anyway, Flygon is one of my favorite dragon types. I absolutely love it. It might just be the design. It might just be the way that I've used it in Let's Plays in the past. But Flygon is definitely up there as one of the best dragons. Next up is the bane of dragon types across the Pokemon world. We have Mamoswine here. And Mamoswine has a very odd design. It kind of seems like there's not a whole lot to it in that its face is most of its body. It looks a little bit strange to me how kind of compact it seems. But when you look at the stats, when you look at the facts, you know, you get to see that Mamoswine is one of the greatest ice types that ever was and ever will be. Honestly, I don't know if Paloswine really needed an evolution, and Game Freak was just like, let's just give it all of the attack, and let's give it priority too. And let's give it Stab Earthquake that it already had, let's give it Icicle Crash and Stealth Rocks, and all these things that make Mamoswine such a good Pokemon in competitive play. Now, it's a little bit difficult to get in game, but most of the time that I've seen Mamoswine, it has been in competitive, and it has shown itself time and time again to be one of, if not the best ice types. We're gonna hang around in 4th gen for just a little bit more as we talk about Palkia. Now, Palkia is one of those Pokemon that I feel is just too underloved because its companion, its other half, Dialga, is probably considered by most to be better because it does have that super effective advantage against Palkia. If you pit one against the other, Dialga will most likely come out on top most of the time. But personally, for me, I've always had an attachment to Palkia. I've always absolutely loved its design, and its typing is something a little bit strange, and I do like it quite a lot. It's got a water dragon typing, which when you look at it, it doesn't seem to make sense, and you know, it's a Pokemon from space, so why is it water typing? Again, not a whole lot of sense going on with the typing there, but I love Spatial Rend, the move, and as soon as I got Pearl for the first time, and Pearl was the first 4th gen game I played through, I picked up a Palkia and was surprised about how easy it was to capture, but I used it through the rest of the game, and I thought it was fantastic. So Palkia, even if you're not widely loved, I appreciate you. Coming in at number 32, we have Snorlax, which is the big lovable oaf of the Pokemon series. I mean, there's probably a lot of big lovable oafs now that I think about it, but one of the main ones being Snorlax. It has a nice just normal typing, has a very diverse moveset. It can use a lot of different typings moves. It can set up with Curse, and it's already incredibly bulky, has insane health and very good special defense. So all you need to do is kind of shore up that defensive stat, and you're good to go, honestly. You can Curse, and then if you get Toxic, then you just rest it off. This thing has Thick Fat, so it has 2 pseudo resistances in Fire and Ice if you want to run that, which makes it even more bulky and even more able to take those hits, and of course, it's very powerful as well. I like Snorlax's design. They had to have some kind of like big chubby Pokemon at some point, and I'm glad that he looks like a bear. I'm glad he's more like a big lovable bear type thing. Finishing off today's 10 is going to be the Ultra Beast Circuitry. Now, the Ultra Beasts have always had strange designs. All of them have very strange, kind of out there designs. And Circuitry is literally a plug. It's a plug in some cables, but this plug has insane special attack. So if you pair this thing up with a Choice Scarf, you're outspeeding a good number of things, and as long as there's no immunities like ground types or lightning rod users on your opponent's team, you're pretty much safe to sweep. Because as soon as you knock out a Pokemon, you're getting a boost to your special attack. And once you get a boost to that insane special attack, it's basically over. You're basically one-shotting every single thing in front of you. I love this thing. I called it Evil Santa for some reason, but circuitry is an absolute monster that I've really enjoyed using so far in 7th gen. But that is the end of today's 10. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please do destroy that like button right below this video. And we are getting very, very close to the end of the list. So if you've been following along, first of all, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.